Not bad.
Are you okay?
That's a little better. Yeah.
Let me talk.
I can see your faces better like that.
Like we did. Can you hear me, Kristen?
I hear you.
Or Kate?
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
All right.
Donna? Yeah?
Yes, I can.
All right, great. All right, then we're ready. We're ready to begin. Very quiet, please. Thank you. All right, welcome to our Project Converge live call for Wednesday, February 11th. This project is funded by the National Science Foundation and facilitated through Coasting Now. My name is Kate. I'm a science educator here at Liberty Science Center. You guys met me this morning. I'd like to welcome our school group for all your information down there in Antarctica. Joining us today we have Mets Charter School from Jersey City, New Jersey. Good afternoon to all our students and teachers. Good afternoon to our team in Antarctica. And I'd like to introduce who you're seeing today. Very important on our call is a penguin scientist named Donna Patterson. She's been working in Antarctica since 1989 and working with seabirds since 1991. Hi Donna, how are you?
Hi, I'm good. How are you doing there?
We're good. Could you introduce who else is there with you today?
Absolutely. The team will file on over. Hi, everybody. My name is Donna, and Kristen and Kate just introduced us. The rest of the team is. Go ahead.
My name is Corey.
I'm Carrie Mack. And that's the bird team. So this is the field team is at Palmer Station. Ben, Sean, and Carrie have been here since early November, and they've been holding down the fort. They'll be here for another month and a half. So, yeah. There you go.
All right, thank you. So before we get started with questions, can you tell us a little bit about what's happening in Antarctica there? What time is it? What are you guys up to? And where are you on station?
Absolutely. Okay, it's about 2:15 in the afternoon, so I think we're 2 hours ahead of you. And it is a bright and sunny day here. Sort of unusual because it's been quite rainy and cloudy, snowy even. And let's see what's going on. We have worked with some Adelie penguin fledglings today. We've seen fur seals and parameter seal and elephant seals, and even a leopard seal right down by the pier. So that was kind of a treat for us. We had a Chilean ship visit this morning, and we were able to enjoy some culture on the road. Yeah. And I'm going to spin the camera around so you can hopefully get a look at the Palmer area. So, right there, you should be able to see Arthur Harbor and then Maurice Piedmont, and that's a translated to say coastal glacier. Maurice Piedmont runs the entire coast of Van Ness Island. And then if I turn the webcam a little bit super fast, I'll get you there. So, right now, what you're looking at are the main buildings of Palmer Station. That's where our kitchen and lounge area is located, and some of the half of the berthing on the station. And I think you can also see the carpentry shop in the foreground. And out past those buildings, that's actually where the ship ties up to the pier. If I spin a little farther, hopefully you'll be able to see, you should be able to see an iceberg in the distance. It's about a mile from our station, and those have been with us for quite some time now, changing and cataloging in pieces. So that's what's happening here, and that is what's going on. So it's been a great day so far.
All right. Can we see Torgerson right now? Because we have side by side. We've got the camera as well showing where in the background.
You should be able to see Torgerson in the very background.
Straight ahead.
And absolutely. And do you have the penguin cam up right now?
Yep, we've got the penguin cam up. So that's where they are.
Great. So what you'll be seeing on the penguin cam right now are Adelie penguin fledglings, and they're mostly out of their down and in their feathers, and they're just getting ready to leave within the next 10 days or so. And the reason those are still hanging around on the penguin colony is because their parents are still feeding them. So that's why you see some lingering in the colony still.
All right, very cool. Thank you. So let's take our first question. Has anybody come up with some? Ready to go? Looks like we got one right here. Don't forget to introduce yourself and speak nice and loud, please. Go ahead. Hello, what's your name?
Jake.
Okay, Jamie, what's your question?
Did you guys ever cook a penguin?
Did you ever cook the penguin?
No. We actually, here to study them. We try and keep them as hands off as possible. Try and not disturb them.
Has a penguin ever hit you?
Sorry, what was the question?
Has a penguin ever hit you?
Hit you? Yeah, occasionally. If we, some of our work involves us kind of going in and handling birds and kind of weighing them, take measurements. And if you get too close to the colony or to their nest, they can come out and hit you with four flippers or try and bite. They can slap you way harder than they. They're pretty strong. So occasionally they.
My name is Shiny.
Nice and loud, please.
Hi.
My name is Shiny.
Hi, Shanice. We can hear you. What's your question?
Where are the baby penguins?
Where are they?
Yes.
Is that the question?
Yes, where are the baby penguins?
Well, the ones that you're looking at are the young of the year. They grow up pretty fast. So these were the chicks that hatched out, back in December, and they grow pretty quick. Our summer here is pretty short, so parents, forage day and night getting food for the penguins. They grow up really quick, and those are the ones that were eggs, just back in December. So you're looking at the penguin chicks or the baby penguins.
Hi.
Go ahead. What's your question?
How often do penguins lay eggs?
How often? Well, if they're in good shape, they can, lay eggs every year, just once a year, typically 2 eggs. If they're in poor condition, they potentially could skip a year, but it's typical to be once a year.
Oh yeah, let's head over to the other side.
Hey. My name is Derek.
Go ahead with your question.
Have you ever seen a sea lion eat a penguin?
Well, we don't have sea lions down here, but we do have leopard seals and fur seals. And leopard seals, do eat penguins quite often, and occasionally you may see a fur seal go back to a penguin, but the big predator would be the leopard seal.
Did you cry when you seen that?
No, we're kind of here to study them. It's it's all kind of part of the system down here. It's there's predators. The penguins are eating the krill. Skuas and seals eat the penguins.
There's a lot of pythons and a lot of death seals, so it's just part of the story down here.
So I was just kind of showing you, if you're looking at the live penguin cam, you can see an adult that's coming back and feeding one of the chicks. So you can kind of see that darker bird. It's kind of just right of center, kind of with the dark head and dark chin. and it's kind of feeding its chicks. So they're occasionally coming back and kind of still feeding these chicks, and well, it looks like it's moved off now, but the last few meals for these chicks before they're on their own.
We're here. We can hear you.
Okay.
Hi, my name is Zoe. I have a question. What is their behavior like when you get near them?
Well, that's a good question, Zoe. I guess we're kind of, as I said, we try and stay away from them. For the most part, they don't pay a whole lot of attention to us. When we do get close to the colony, we're really careful that we're not kind of spooking the adults off their eggs or away from their chicks, making them more vulnerable to predation. But as long as you stay, a few feet away, for the most part, we can do our work without disturbing them too much. But it's something we're really careful about.
I also have another question. Can penguins really slide their bellies?
Yeah, they do that quite often. Actually, it seems like it's the preferred mode of transportation on the really snowy and icy days.
Maybe if it would help us too, before we take our next question, can you guys say a little bit about why you're going into the penguin colonies? What are you doing and what are you looking for?
So we're trying to figure out what's going on with the penguins and their population. So everything that we do is trying to answer the goal of are they breeding successfully? Are their eggs hatching? Are their chicks surviving? And how many penguins are there around? So those are the main reasons we would ever get close to a penguin colony, or the reason that we're down here is to see their trends, to see what's going on with their population.
Okay, thank you.
Hello, my name is Anthony, and is it cold? Is it really cold?
Today it's not. We're kind of here on the peninsula, which is typically a lot warmer than what people think of what it's like in Antarctica. Typical temperature this time of year is right around freezing, a few degrees above, so it's in the 30s. Probably a bit warmer than where you are right now. So it can be cold and wet, and kind of freezing rain and snow, but normally this time of year it's not too bad, mid-30s.
Hi, my name is Alvin.
Let's go on, Alvin. What's your question?
Okay, where those baby penguins come out?
The penguins lay eggs, and they're hatched from the eggs. So they're not a mammal. It's not live birth, but they lay an egg.
Did you hear that? I think we lost a little bit of the audio there. So the babies hatch from eggs, not like other animals that give birth to babies. Did you guys get that? Okay. I think we have one right up front. Yep.
Hi, my name is Steven. How often do the penguins eat?
Or they eat, figure it out.
Sure. That's a good question. A penguin eats basically once a day. They go on a long foraging trip, and they'll forage sometimes close to their colonies and sometimes not so close. It seems like the penguins this year they've been feeding within 5 or 6 miles of their colony, and that's not a very long trip for good swimmers like the penguin. And when they come back to land, the parent will call the chick using, and they recognize each other's voice. So once the chick hears the parent calling, the chick will run out and get a meal. So the chicks typically get 1 or 2 meals a day right now. It's a great question.
Hi, my name is Ahmed, and I got 2 questions. Have you ever considered taking a penguin home since they're so cute? And what would happen if you took it out of its natural habitat?
Good questions. I guess one is these are wild animals, so it's usually never a good idea to take wild animals and, try and bring them into captivity as a pet. And they probably would if you brought them back someplace that's, was too warm. They're adapted for living down in this environment, so, they're wild animals and probably would make great pets.
What type of Hi, I'm Lisa Solomon. I have a question. What kind of penguin species do you study?
Oh, that's a good question. There's 3 penguin species here around Palmer. Adelie penguins, chinstraps, and gentoos. And we study all 3 of those.
The ones you're looking at on camera are Adelies.
Yep. We have hands. Oh, right here? Okay. Yes, go ahead.
Hi, my name is Nyla. My question is, does the penguins ever chase you?
Well, if we get too close to their nest, they might try to chase us off. But normally, we don't get that close, so they just kind of keep to themselves.
And they do have just like people, they have different personalities. Some are kind of grumpier than others, so some don't mind at all, and some will be a little more aggressive and come running out to you near the tower.
And sometimes they just follow you around, just being curious, wondering what you are.
This is Zoe again. I have another question. Do you ever see puffin birds, the bird that can fly and happy feet?
No, they don't exist now. Considered
Can you come a little closer to the mic?
Yep. Oh, yeah. It's been said just like penguins don't exist up in the northern hemisphere, puffins are a northern species and they don't exist down here. Yeah.
Hi, my name is Manuel, and I wanted to ask you guys if the penguins spend all day foraging or do they sleep?
The penguins at this time of year are really busy foraging because most of them have 2 hungry chicks to feed. So both parents are actually going out and spending a lot of time foraging for mostly krill. And they come back and feed both their chicks. They're not like you and I, they don't have like a certain set pattern of when they sleep. It's not like, 10 o'clock bedtime, wake up at 6 a.m. They get sleep in whenever they can. But for the most part, they're really busy feeding this time of year because they're very hungry and fast growing chicks.
Hi, my name is Raymond, and if penguins fall on ice, how do they get up?
Sorry, could you repeat the question?
If penguins fall on ice, how do they get up?
Yeah, they do quite, they do fall quite often, but they have really strong legs, strong foreflippers. They're pretty good jumpers, so they're jumping on the water, climbing up rocks, jumping off of rocks. They kind of bounce around. They're tough little birds, and they kind of just use their foreflippers and strong legs to help them stand back up.
You got very low center of gravity. And big nails.
Oh yeah, maybe that's a good note. If we were standing on Torgerson where the penguin camera is pointed, how high would a penguin come on on a tall person? How tall are they? Up to your knees?
Penguins come up to these. Yeah, these are all smaller penguins than the ones you see on TV, maybe the larger emperors. These are all knee height or below.
Hello. My name is Anthony.
Hello.
And have you ever got slapped by a penguin? When you got too close?
Yeah, I think somebody asked that question earlier. Yeah, occasionally, but for the most part, yeah, they don't pay much attention to.
Hi. What is a macaroni? A macaroni penguin? I heard it on a TV show. It's called a macaroni penguin.
It's a species of penguin that's a sub-Antarctic species, so it lives north Antarctica.
It's very rare to get them down here, but you're right, there is a species of penguin called the macaroni penguin.
They're the ones with the eyebrows.
How you guys tell the difference between each penguin? How can you tell the difference between each penguin? Do you guys like give each penguin a name or something? Did you guys have like a favorite?
So in general, we can't tell the difference between each penguin. We're not marking them in any sort of way, but we do mark their nests. So throughout the season, we'll follow their nests to figure out which ones are actually hatching chicks and which ones are surviving. The males and females, though, you can tell those apart. They just have, they're a lot bigger and more robust, the males. And so when we're weighing and measuring them, we can tell by the length of their pollen and their weight, if they're male or female.
Do penguins get territorial?
Good question. They're very territorial. Looks like the colonies are pretty dense. And little area around the nest, they defend pretty easily. They take rocks from nearby nests, and if anybody comes over into their territory, they can be pretty aggressive, hitting the other penguins with their foreflippers, biting them, and chasing them off.
They might not slap us much, but they slap each other a lot.
Oh, and can you bring me a penguin where you're at?
Not great.
Maybe, I know I've heard this on previous chats we've had. There's one really big reason why you might not want them to bring you a penguin. What does it smell like in the colony?
This time of year, especially if it rains, it doesn't smell very good. So that's a good question people always ask. You know, are the colonies all muddy? You kind of see that brown. And what it really is guano. The birds eat almost exclusively krill. So you kind of get that coloration from the krill that mixes with the snow melt and the rainwater, and kind of makes for a kind of a very smelly, kind of unpleasant, kind of muddy, dirty.
It's like a fishy smell.
Yep, we're just looking at the camera again. There's an adult back in the frame on Brontorgeson. And you can see the adult and the chick.
Right in the middle, yeah. Can you guys give it down? We have another question over on the side. Thank you. Oh.
Do some penguins fight? Do some penguins fight?
I think it was do some penguins fight. Is that right?
Yeah, like you said earlier, they become territorial, and they'll fight each other if they invade the other one's space.
Go ahead. Do all penguins mate at the same time?
Good question with the Adeles. Since these are kind of a true Antarctic species, their summer breeding season is much shorter, so they do have a lot of. Their timing is very precise, so they do kind of all breed and all lay eggs, within a short period of time, usually within, a week or week and a half of each other. Some of the more sub-Antarctic species kind of spread out the breeding season a little bit longer, like the Gentus. But for the most part, it's all, the same time of year. Sometimes this year it's a little bit later, but it's usually all around the same time.
How long do penguins live?
I think that was how long do penguins live?
Hey, great question. In the wild, they seem to live about 10 to 12 years, and we know that from when we used to put bans on them. We don't ban them anymore, as we just answered earlier. We don't have more. I could Harry answer that question about the marks that we have on them. We don't recognize them, but when we used to ban them, they would live 10 to 12 years in the wild. Ones in captivity might live as long as 20 years. And actually, the record holder here, we know she was quite old. In fact, she lived into her late teens. And we know that because she was a blonde penguin. So she was visibly, not quite albino, she was kind of like a blonde and white. So that's how we know that.
Hi. How do penguins see on the water?
Good question. Here they're mostly eating krill now, so it's easier for them if the prey is kind of in denser areas. So they're kind of going and grabbing their visual foragers. So they're kind of looking for the krill and making individual captures. So the denser that prey is, the kind of the more efficient they can be in catching all those little individuals.
Hello?
Hi. Hello?
Is there such thing as an African penguin? Like, lives in Africa? No.
Yeah.
Yeah! He said
Yeah, there are. Most people think of penguins as being down here in Antarctica, but truthfully, the majority are sub-Antarctic, which they do reach, the southern tip of Africa and also South America and New Zealand. And there's actual penguins all the way up to the Galapagos. So, most of them aren't down here in the Antarctic. There's only emperors and Adeles are really truly Antarctic penguins.
what do the African penguins eat?
I think, mostly, the penguins around here eat krill a lot, but they'll also eat a lot of species of fish. And that's, be my guess, with kind of more sub-Antarctic species, you have access to a lot of other prey animals.
Hello? Is it true that penguins bring rocks? Male penguins bring rocks to female penguins to impress them?
Actually, both males and females will get rocks, but it is kind of like little gifts to each other. So yeah, the males bringing a nice rock to the females to make their nest higher, which is normally to be had about it. The higher their nest is with rocks, the more dry it will stay, and the more chances the egg is going to survive.
It's definitely part of their bonding connection, correct? It's known at bonded.
Hi, how fast can penguins swim?
How fast can they swim?
They can swim around when they're on their way out to a foraging area. They can swim at about 5 miles an hour, which doesn't sound like a lot, but when you're swimming nonstop, it sure is pretty fast. So they're able to get out in a hurry to where they're foraging, and then they do quite a few dives into the prey field, and when they're done, back they go. So they're pretty quick about it.
All right. I think we're almost out of time, so I'm just gonna, I'll ask one last one, maybe. Could you say something about, earlier we'd asked what you were looking for, and you said you're looking at how their population is doing and whether it's changing. Could you tell us something about what you've found over the years with the penguin populations around Palmer?
That's a good question. The penguins, at least the Adelies, which used to be the dominant species here, have been declining. They've declined near the neighborhood of 85% since our group started working here. So that's from around 15,000 breeding pairs when we started to less than 2,000 breeding pairs currently. So a dramatic decline in just a few decades.
All right, we'll take one last question. Yep.
How do penguins play around? How can you tell if they're having fun with each other or they're enjoying their habitat? And how can you tell if they're mad and they don't want to deal with nobody?
Good question. We've done a joke about that quite a bit. Yeah, we tend not to see kind of Adelies, kind of exhibiting that much play behavior. But this morning when we were out, we're seeing some of these chicks that look like they've gone into the water for the first time, probably ever in their life. And they definitely look excited, kind of the first time they're in the ocean, the first time they were swimming, kind of splashing around. We see it a lot more in Gentoo penguins, where they seem to exhibit a little bit more type play behavior. When they're not happy, I guess you can definitely see, we're talking about birds chasing each other, kind of being aggressive, biting other birds. They make it pretty obvious too when they're not happy with you or with other penguins.
And I might add really quickly on to Sean's answer that occasionally when it's snowing, the penguin chicks that you can see on the webcam right now, that size chick will sometimes stand there and catch snowflakes. So I don't know if that's really playing, but it's certainly, they're not being very serious then.
All right. Well, thank you very much. On that note, I don't want to keep you guys. I'm sure you have more research to do and enjoy the nice weather you're having down there. Thank you to our schools for participating and students for all your great questions. Stick with us for just a minute because we're going to chat with the school for a little bit once we log off. But have a great day and stay safe at Palmer.
Bye. All right, thanks.